to achieve something specific. And so when I saw that blog post, love it, loved making the envelope, loved coming back to it to read it. I read it out loud, as you heard, and I think it could be an interesting Meaningwave piece, but maybe not the whole thing. But I think maybe pulling out little chunks of it, putting some reverb or treatment on the vocals, and then having different thematic motions of the music behind it, right? Kind of following something up or following a question to the end. So it's been on my mind, and it's been one I've been meaning to say, hell, this is one I'd love to tinker with. But I finally just hit record. And I don't know. I don't know if it resonates as much as I would want it to, but I think it could be an interesting Meaningwave track with the music behind it.
Yeah, I see what you mean. That isn't easy actually. It takes yeah, like it's easy to mess this up actually.
Well, yeah.
It's we have
I
to
mean,
be very intentional about everything. That we need to understand the sound of everything that's being said.
yeah.
And
well, and I think a simple version of it would be similar to what we did for Sam's original pump up track, right? Which is where you maybe take. Well, I mean, you gave it a nice treatment by reading the same thing I read, and then kind of playing with that, right? Like choosing when is it going to be this voice or when is it going to be that voice, keeping it nice and simple, right? With just some spoken word over top, and then the music playing behind it. That's kind of a simple version. I take your point. If you were to actually track the vocals with everything that you're trying to do in the music, I could see you taking it next level. I don't know how much you've listened to Akira the Dawn after I mentioned him to you a couple times. All of his tracks kind of have some interesting repetitious tricks he uses. You can recognize an Akira the Dawn track very quickly once you've listened to his style.
Let me remember a little bit what music Akira the Dawn.
Go to Alan Watts, Wattswave 4. You should share your screen.
Wait, what do I type?
So I'm always on Spotify, which is where I would just search for WATTS WAVE and then space IV.
Like that?
No, just the letters I and V. Yeah, hit that. Akira the Dawn, Wattswave 4. That's the one.
So
Akira. He's got clout.
Of subjective time into 8 hours of sleep. You would, I suppose, start out by you wanted. I wonder what you would do if you had the power to dream any dream you wanted. And then after a couple of months of this sort of thing at 75 years a night, you would be getting a little the power to dream any dream you wanted.
interesting.
Virtually.
Yeah.
It is only the true future is a surprise. Found in fashion as a match. You can say what the divine, the ultimate reality is going to try and persuade you that it's for real, in tradition. That the universe is the...
Okay, yeah, I see what you... Yeah, it's like I said, it's a lot of work.
Oh, no doubt. I mean, you know, I didn't mean to communicate that I think I could create something as complex or in depth as, you know, Akira the Dawn, who, you know, he's really out there sludging along trying to create his own version of Meaningwave, right? Which are these lectures or thought pieces that are challenging, right? I mean, reading blog posts. If you go and look at some of his other albums, he doesn't just do Alan Watts. This album is just one philosopher, Alan Watts. But on some of his other albums, he does Jordan Peterson. He does a host of other people. I follow him on Spotify, and he launches everything over there. Yeah, he publishes a lot of music. That Mother Ayahuasca one is really cool. You skipped past it. Mother Ayahuasca. Those are the instrumentals. So these don't have any of the spoken word.
I like that sound. Very cool music. I really like that.
Yeah, his music, you know, again, if you get the different flavors, he follows different styles, but those the spoken word Meaningwave tracks, you know, you can see down there he's got the Meaningwave morning show.
Something extraordinary.
I just meant the title, the Meaningwave. He's just always layering in thoughtful spoken word.
Yeah, and it seems like he's taking sound, like it's kind of like DJing, but adding acapellas of spoken words to things and making music like that live. It's like he's refined his own way of going about this.
Yeah, and it's certainly a bit weird, but I don't think that he or anyone else would be upset with the idea of using the term, you know, this is Meaningwave, creating a track and saying, hey, here's a Meaningwave track, right? I don't think he's copyrighted that term, right? I think he's trying to put that out there as a genre almost.
Yeah, like a thing, yeah, that people can do.
Yeah. So that was my thought on the Seth Godin piece. I know not whether or not I'll do anything further with it, but I've been meaning to read that out loud. So if you get inspired, feel free to shoot out any thoughts to me.
I mean, it's definitely interesting to do that to me because I've never done something like that before.
Oh, you have though. You did it with the triathlon anthem.
Yeah, but that was 3 minutes of speech that was deliberately recorded for that. Now we have like, how long is this? 5 minutes?
It's 2 minutes. But what I would suggest is, first of all, the tail end of the post is weaker. And honestly, I don't even know if this is the one. It's funny. I mean, hey, I recorded it, so we have it. But even just finding the different pieces to chop out, you know, putting a lot of effects and sort of sound treatment on the statement of, we say we want one thing, then we do another. That statement on its own could work into a piece of the music, right? Almost repeat that statement.
Okay. Can we like I don't feel like going live. Can we work out like just recording? This way I can just be in my zone and like not worry about all that technical stuff right now.
Oh, I'm totally fine with that one.
I
also did not mean to launch right into it, other than that was explaining what I had sent to you. I'm certainly happy to go other directions here as well if there was other stuff you wanted to chat about. This was just something that was on my mind.
So I tried to create an Eventbrite for when I'll be in my new apartment, and like it can be like an event thing every Monday, and maybe people can join in on Zoom sometimes, and then get a ticket for that.
Nice.
Yeah, I don't know
Sweet.
how do I see that event? Basic info. It's weird. Manage my event. Can I view it? There you go. I really like this font.
I like. I can dig it. I actually really like it a lot. I definitely need to get you a more up to date picture. I've got a couple different ones we could choose from, but I mean that picture is 10 years old. I think of me. I think.
Whoa.
Yeah. Yeah. So I notice it when I see it. Yeah, I'm trying to think. Let me see if I've got one for you. Actually, oh shit. You see what I can get for you right here. I might have a just a nice headshot. I'll send you one. I'll put it in Dropbox. Oh, actually, hold on. I'm sorry. Right as I said that, and then this is so funny. I don't have an up-to-date one. Actually, some of these are okay. Oh, here we go. Nah, that's not the look. I'm gonna have to get a new headshot, man.
Yep.
I'll take one. I'll get that sent your way. Nancy and I can putz around with that. Dude, I pushed just right over the edge to talk music, which is always worthy. But yeah, man, I'm having a heck of a Monday, heck of a start to the week.
Tell me.
Well, so the big one is, and this is one of those moments where I'm having to just work overtime to remind myself that it's a disappointment, but it's not worth like emotionally reacting to because it's something you can't control. But I was applying for this job that I was I was getting very excited about. I would have incorrectly told you, oh my gosh, it's going so well, I'm super pumped, it looks like I might be getting a job here. But they went with another candidate, and they were super sweet about it. They talked to me, they definitely let me know that they gave me good explanations. Essentially, they were saying I was too junior for the role, which I think the person they hired probably asked for less money, that kind of a thing. And they were very, very sweet about it. They were as disappointed as I was, as they said. But I kind of feel like I'm back to the drawing board to figure out what I'm going to do. And Talent Guard is certainly, oh man, some struggles there. So that's okay. But that just kind of set a tone for like uncertainty ahead where I thought there was more certainty. I need to get over it and get on and go find my next gig.
Yeah, wow, that's very similar to something I'm going through, man.
What's up with you?
That's the full moon in Scorpio, by the way. You know, Scorpio is about shared resources and power, struggles, and things. Yeah, things that are sometimes out of control that you need to control, related to yeah, different interests and desires and fears and passion, and like your deep soul, what it wants, and like there's a lot of squares going on with Saturn and Aquarius, with Jupiter and Aquarius, and so there's a choice to be made on where you're gonna put your your actual focus and discipline on, like what is gonna be the thing that you're gonna be working on, versus what a lot of things are trying to control that aspect for you, and that you have to rebel in a certain area. So it means you have to. Um, so it depends on each person how it goes. But for me, like right now, today, I found out I received an email from my not my boss, but like the account manager, HR, like the person that kind of manages me as an instructor at Chuan Lark. Yeah, she said that we have to have a talk ASAP because she can't send me new leads anymore because of some miscommunications that have been happening with the other account managers that are trying to set up the logistics with me and my students. And because when I went for my vacation, I instead of telling Chuan Lark about it, I just told my students, "Is it okay if we do it next week?" And I was
Yeah.
like doing it with them. I didn't want to bother Chuan Lark, and like I felt like I had control over the thing, but it lost track and it caused some confusion. So yeah, she said right now we can't send you more leads, and we're not gonna be able to work with you if you don't implement some changes immediately and things like that. And so that
Yeah.
shook my reality a little bit and made me think, oh my god, what am I gonna do if I can't rely on this anymore? It's like,
Yeah.
oh, I need to think about that because I don't want to be controlled by one thing that can change my course just like that. So I need to kind of focus and change my schedule and change my habits and become more on top of things and kind of, yeah, hustle a little bit more. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, man. I hear you. I hear you. No, it's a shaking reality to look around and, like you said, just feel that tinge of, okay, I'm okay for the moment, but like, what am I going to do if I don't have a job in 3 months?
Yeah, like long term. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah,
hard. It's hard not to know and not to have a plan. And
yeah, yeah,
but at the same time,
yeah.
yeah, being
I
riding
think
something, it's just, everything's connected.
totally. Well, and I think in my case, again, I'm trying to remind myself to monitor my emotional reaction to the extent that my emotional reaction burdens me or gets in the way. When that's happening, it's like, okay, hold on, temper those emotions, right? It's not that having them is bad. You can acknowledge them. Apologies, I got distracted. I thought that I saw one of my children outside my office. It's interesting. Monitoring emotions.
Yeah, well, Mars is in Cancer right now, and it's giving us the will to control our emotions. Because
Hmm.
if not, then we would just all be crying babies, angry babies crying and fighting while crying at the same time. And so, actually, empathy is enhanced and compassion is enhanced, and it's causing a lot of inner struggles, inner yeah, things that are going on. So you have to be really attentive to your inner world. And I have the privilege to have a lot of alone time, but
Mhm.
I wouldn't be able to kind of, I would have burned out if I was like working a 9 to 5 right now with all that I'm going through internally. I have time to sit with my emotions, you know what I mean? And I'm embracing it. And but
Yeah.
it, and I'm also doing productive things. So sometimes I have that voice that's like, you can do more, you can do more, stop being lazy, and like self-sabotage. I start eating bad things for me and just do all these things, and it's like ridiculous because like it's fine if I do those things once in a while. I don't have to even judge myself and like beat myself up for it like one day, 2 days. You know, most of the time I'm healthy and I'm promoting health and like, but sometimes I just need to escape,
Hmm.
I need to escape my reality, or I need just to escape, and it's yeah, it's just I have those patterns. I'm now becoming way more aware that there's like different things I could do instead uh, of doing what I usually do when I'm feeling that way. So yeah. Oh, you're muted. I can't hear you. I can't hear you right now. The audio went out.
My bad. My mic. I had my mic muted because I was clearing my throat a moment back, and I forgot about it. I don't remember what I was just mumbling about, but other than to say, yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. I really do. And it's interesting, some of those same statements that you blurted out there of self-sabotage, compromise.
Yes,
And
you're way better than you're actually showing up, and like you look at who you've been, for the last few months, years, days, and you're like, all this time I could have been that, and I could have had this, and I could have so many things could have been different. But hey, like you at the time you did the best you can with what you had, and like
no doubt.
today you know what you could have been, but that means you know what you can be.
Hmm.
And so
Yeah.
why
Yeah.
why
Yeah.
repeat
You have,
the old?
yeah. 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 Let go of thinking about what was, and just look ahead. That's interesting. That's and some of these things as well, they're being recorded. Taking out the snippet that's towards the end where it says, "What are you going to do about it?" There's kind of a rebuttal in that question. And if you think about that statement being read out loud by you, or you could get Zaffer, or you could get Paolo or whoever to read it. So you've got a couple different voices saying that statement. What are you going to do about it? If you think about layering some of those things kind of on top of each other for some echo effect, and some slight delay on how they're layered in, I could see that being an eerie reply or a rebuttal part in the flow of the track. So like snipping that little piece out. It's towards the end. You have more power than you know. Further back to the left. Now you've seen. Are you going to do about it? What? Yeah. What?
What are you going to do about it? What are you?
Well, these are different pitches, you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
you copy paste and create multiple pitches simultaneously, and each one can be panned somewhere in the in the stereo field. This one can be a bit higher. Did I do this one lower? Yeah, this one's lower. This one can make it a bit higher. Put it to the right, this one to the left. Or like that. This one can go more to the right.
What are you going to do about it?
It's an experiment.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
No,
if
that's-
you add delay or reverb and like even
What are you going to do
what
about
are
it?
you going to do about it?
I don't know.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean? This is like experimenting, and there's so much experiments we can do before we start to even think what we want to do eventually. I like to really spend a lot of time to explore the raw material that I have, and before thinking about what I'm gonna do with it, people are not patient usually. Most people irritate me because they're like, every move I make, they're like, why did you do this? Are you sure that's what you want to do? No, I'm not sure that's what I'm gonna do. But don't worry, please. Like, that's disturbing the flow. Like right now, we're not thinking, is this good? Is this not? We're not doing that right now. We're experimenting, we're playing, we're having fun, we're throwing ideas in, and if there's an idea that you really like, you get attached to it almost, you can save it, but don't start to discriminate yet, because that's just not what we're doing right now.
Word. Quieting the lizard brain. Quieting the lizard brain.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
How can I explain the never-ending irrationality of human behavior?
That's nice first statement, I think.
We say we want one thing, then we do another. We say we want to be successful, but we sabotage the job interview.
Beautiful. These are very powerful sentences right here.
We say we want a product to come to market, but we sandbag the shipping schedule.
That's too corporate for me.
Yeah, delete it.
Like, general people won't get it.
We say we want to be thin, but we eat too much.
Okay.
We say we want to be smart, but we skip class or don't read that book the boss lent us. We skip class. Yeah, or you can kill it. That's fine. Kill it. Smart, but we skip class or
Okay, yeah, we'll get rid of the or.
yeah. Class or don't. The contradictions never end. When someone shows up and acts without contradiction, we're amazed. When an athlete just does the sport, or when a writer just writes the words, we can't help but watch, astonished at the purity of their actions. When an athlete just
The purity of their actions.
astonished at the purity of their actions. Help but watch, astonished. We can't help but watch, astonished at the purity. When someone shows up and acts without contradiction, we're amazed. When an athlete, we can't help but watch, astonished at the purity of their actions.
That's beautiful. It can be connected to this one.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe this
Yeah,
one.
when an athlete just does the sport, or when a writer just writes that.
Yeah, I think it's too much, maybe.
We can't help. Why is it so difficult to do what we say we're going to do? The lizard brain. Or as Stephen Pressfield describes it, the resistance. The resistance is the voice in the back of our head telling us to back off, be careful, go slow, compromise. The resistance is writer's block.
Can we remove that sentence, maybe?
The resistance is the voice in the...
Not this one.
Or as Stephen Pressfield describes
This
it...
one.
Yeah, delete that.
Yeah, we're not... It's not... Yeah. Like, we want to kind of take the flesh, like the good stuff.
Off, be careful, go slow, compromise. The resistance is writer's block and putting jitters, and every project that ever shipped late because people couldn't stay on the same page long enough to get something out the door. The resistance is writer's block and putting jitters, and every project that ever shipped late because people couldn't stay on the same page long enough to get something out the door. The resistance grows in strength as we get closer to shipping, as we get closer to an insight, as we get closer to the truth of what we really want. That's because the lizard hates change and achievement and risk. The lizard is a physical...
Oh, yeah, I feel like trying this effect.
The lizard is a...
Haven't used this in a while, but it should be the... how do I... that's not what I want.
The lizard is a physical...
The lizard is a physical part of your brain, the prehistoric lump near the brainstem that is responsible for fear and rage and reproductive drive. Why did the chicken cross the road? Because her lizard brain told her to.
You know?
The contradictions
never end. When someone shows up and acts without contradiction, the contradictions never end.
The contradictions never end. The contradictions never end. When someone shows up and acts without contradiction, we're amazed. We can't help but watch, astonished at the purity of their actions. Why is it so difficult to do what we say we're going to do? The lizard brain.
The resistance is the voice in the back of our head telling us to back off, be careful, go slow, compromise. The resistance is writer's block and
Well, maybe I can slow everything down actually somehow. Let me see.
Yeah, and I mean, yeah, that's interesting.
If I warp it, make it
Mm.
complex. Actually, no. Choose the repitch. I'm just gonna try it on this first bit. Instead of the effect that I just did.
Quieting the lizard.
Now,
quieting the lizard brain. How can I explain the never-ending irrationality of human behavior? We say we want one thing,
That's good.
then we do another. We say we
I love that because like slowing it down gets it in my brain more
Yeah.
easily.
Is there also is there a type of reverb treatment that would jump to mind on that tone? I'm wondering.
We can definitely experiment with the different options we have here. Let me see.
Even just a simple reverb, but if you had something, kind of a magical reverb, could be interesting.
Special harmonic pitch down delay spiral.
Less wet, yeah.
quieting the lizard brain.
Mm.
How can I explain the never-ending irrationality of human behavior? We say we want one thing, then we do another.
No, too
Yeah,
much.
no, there's something else out there.
Quieting the lizard brain. How can I explain the never-ending irrationality of human behavior?
I don't know why I like it.
Yeah, I like that better than the first one. I mean, because it's it has something to it.
It
It's like almost,
contrasts.
yeah, almost if you could flag it. I want to try a couple others there.
Okay, I'll just turn it off. Oh, the O one is better, I think. No, actually, the other one's clearer. Anyway, let's try this one.
Blame the never-ending irrationality of human behavior. We say we want one thing, then we do another. We say we want to be successful, but we sabotage the job interview.
This one sounds natural. Vintage. Bomba.
We say we want to be thin, but we eat too much. We say we want to be smart, but we skip class.
It's giving it something.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I like it.
I can dig it. I can dig it.
It's like the small details.
Quiet. How can I explain the never-ending irrationality of human behavior? We say we want one thing, then we do another. We say we want to be successful, but we sabotage the job interview. Quieting the lizard brain. How can I explain the never-ending irrationality of human behavior? We say we want one thing, then we do another. We say we want to be successful, but we sabotage the job interview.
We say we want to be thin, but we eat too much. We say we want to be smart, but we skip. We say we want to be thin.
What? Oh. Warping is a complicated thing sometimes to understand. So there are things I shouldn't do. Like right now, I warp those tracks at 104 BPM, but I had warped this one at 139 BPM so that it slows it down when I reduce it to 104. But now those, when I warp them, they're gonna be normalized at 104. So 104 is gonna be acting as something that slows this one down but keeps those in the same pitch. That's not what I want. I want them all to be in the same pitch and low. So I'm gonna maybe unwarp this guy, warp it again. Now it's warp on 104.
Quieting the lizard brain.
Go. So they're all like 104, and now I can go lower.
Quieting the lizard brain. How can I explain the never-ending irrationality of human behavior? Quieting the lizard brain.
I don't know. I'm experimenting. Maybe this can be two different. Maybe I can add. What's I can pitch it up again. I can pitch up the pitched down version of it.
Quieting the lizard brain. Quieting the lizard brain.
How can I explain the never-ending irrationality of human behavior?
No, this it's breaking it too much, I think.
Quieting the lizard brain.
It's as if it's like anonymous or something.
Yeah, it loses a little bit of the. It's if you're talking of a spectrum of more human versus more robot box, it's too heavy on that spectrum. It's got too much treatment towards the robot box, I think, for my full taste.
Yeah.
But I think there's definitely an interest to slowing it down and having some of that effect. I think the reverb sounds good. And keep in mind, we're going to layer in something behind it, right? There's going to be some kind of sounds behind it.
Yeah. I'm already impatient. I want to try to think about that. I want to try to see what sounds are cool. Maybe an omnisphere pad or some chord progression, and then we can embellish it with a beat.
I can give you a chord progression.
Okay.
So an E minor. Do you have your piano with you?
Yeah.
To a D. And then basically go down a bit to a, give me a second. You're going to go to a B minor to a C. When you come back around the second time to the E minor again, you can try hitting some of the E minor chords with an F sharp in the bass on the turnaround, I think. Or do I have that wrong? Maybe that would be maybe you would substitute that for the D after the E minor.
I would get what instead of D?
I guess make like a D chord with an F sharp in the bass. What's
Oh.
that sound like?
Oh, I forgot to do it. F sharp in the bottom.
That's weird.
I don't know if the sound is the one I want though.
That's kind of nice.
Quieting the lizard brain. How can I explain the never-ending irrationality of human behavior? We say we want one thing, then we do another. We say we want to be successful, but we sabotage the job interview.
Yeah, I like it. I like that sound and the chord and how it sounds with the.
So yeah, so okay, so right after that intro piece hits, have almost overlapping the sound clip that we isolated from the end where it says, "What are you going to do about it?" Right? So you hear like that intro piece and then quietly, volume turned down in the background, you hear this echoing whispering, "What are you going to do about it?" So you hear that first intro bit and then you hear that. I don't know, I'm thinking out loud. If that's a dumb idea, we can delete it.
Okay, no, I heard that idea. I have it in my mind, so I know we can try that.
Yeah.
I want to try now to technically make this a loop. So that's my concern right now.
Quieting the lizard brain.
What key does that make this in? You're going in D major, or what is it? No,
Oh,
it's
E minor.
It's E minor.
Quieting the lizard brain. How can I explain the never-ending irrationality of human behavior? We say we want one thing,
Yeah, you wanted F sharp to be the bass here.
Why not? I mean, I also wonder if that comes after the E minor hits, what that sounds like.
Yeah, like that's the E minor,
Mm-hmm.
and then the D with the F sharp and the bass. Whoops. Let's quantize this on 1/8.
What if you also? Well, no, never mind.
quieting the lizard brain. Quieting the lizard brain. How can I explain the never-ending irrationality of human behavior? We say we want one thing, then we do another. We say we want to be successful, but we sabotage the job.
That F sharp could wait and go towards the back end of the spoken statement, so that you get a change up. I mean, I'm thinking out loud.
What did you say?
I'm randomly thinking about how the words are in the middle of being spoken when that.
Yeah, we can fix that. We can
Yeah.
fix that. Okay, this is now a loop. But the pedal is stuck. Let me fix that. Go. I think we have a progression now. My lizard brain can relax.
Quieting the lizard brain.
Oh, okay.
Quieting the lizard brain. How can I explain the never-ending irrationality of human?
Maybe we can make it so now that we have it as a loop, we can experiment with doubling and halving the length of it, the speed of the loop.
Quieting the lizard brain. How can I explain the never-ending irrationality of human behavior? We say we want one thing, then we do another. We say we want to be successful, but we sabotage the job interview.
Yeah, it's good.
We say we want to be thin, but we.
Oh, that's not good. What's that? Unwarp it. Unwarp everything. What happened?
Quiet. That's
Okay, so
quieting the lizard brain. How can I explain?
that's the normal pitch of your voice.
Didn't sound exact, but I mean, yeah, it's closer than the other.
Quieting the lizard brain. How can I explain the never-ending irrationality of human behavior? We say we want one thing, then we do another. We say we want to be successful. We say we want to be thin, but we eat too much. We say we want to be successful, but we sabotage the job interview. We say we want a product to come to market. We say interview. We say we want to be thin, but we eat too much. We say we want to be smart, but we skip class. Quieting the lizard brain. Quieting the lizard brain. How can I explain the never-ending irrationality of human behavior? We say we want one thing, then we do another. We say we want to be successful, but we sabotage the job interview. We say we want to be thin, but we eat too much. We say we want to be smart, but we skip class. The contradictions never end. Smart, but we skip class. Skip class. The contradictions never end. When someone shows up and acts without contradiction, we're amazed. We can't help but watch, astonished at the purity of their actions. Why is it so difficult to do what we say we're going to do?
Nice. I think I got an idea.
The lizard brain. The resistance is the voice in the lizard brain. The resistance is the voice in the back of our head telling us to back off, be careful, go slow, compromise. The resistance is writer's block and putting jitters, and every project that ever shipped late because people couldn't stay on the same page long enough to get something out the door. The resistance grows in strength as we get closer to shipping, as we get closer to an insight, as we get closer to the truth of what we really want. That's because the lizard hates change and achievement. That's because the lizard hates change and achievement and risk. The lizard is a physical part of your brain, the prehistoric lump near the brainstem that is responsible for fear and rage and reproductive drive. Why did the chicken cross the road? Because her lizard brain told her to. Want to know why so many companies can't keep up with Apple? It's because they compromise, have meetings, work to fit in, fear the critics, and generally work to appease the lizard. Meetings are just one symptom of an organization run by the lizard brain. Late launches, middle-of-the-road products, and the rationalization that goes with them are others. The amygdala isn't going away. Your lizard brain is here to stay, and your job is to figure out how to quiet it and ignore it. Told her. Told her to. How can I explain the How can I explain the never-ending irrationality of human behavior? We say we want one thing, then we do another. We say we want to be successful, but we sabotage the job interview. We say we want to be thin, but we eat too much. We say we want to be smart, but we skip class. We say we want to be thin, but we eat too much. We say we want to be smart, but we skip class. The contradictions never end. When someone shows up and acts without contradiction, we're amazed. It's what they were going to do. The lizard brain. The resistance is the voice in the back of our head telling us to back off, be careful, go slow, compromise. The resistance is writer's block and putting jitters, and every project that ever shipped late be quieting the lizard brain. How can I explain the never-ending irrationality of human behavior? We say we want one thing, then we do another. We say we want to be successful, but we sabotage the job interview. We say we want to be thin, but we eat too much. We say we want to be smart, but we skip class. The contradictions never end. When someone shows up and acts without contradiction, we're amazed. We can't help but watch, astonished at the purity of their actions. Why is it so difficult to do what we say we're going to do? The lizard brain. The resistance is the voice in the back of our head telling us to back off, be careful. resistance is the voice in the back of our head telling us to back off, be careful, go slow, compromise. The resistance is writer's block and putting jitters. And every project that ever shipped late, the lizard brain. The resistance is the voice in the back of our head telling us to back off, be careful, go slow, compromise. The resistance is writer's block and putting jitters. And every project that ever shipped late because people couldn't stay on the same page long enough to get something out the door. The resistance grows in strength as we get closer to shipping, as we get closer to it. One thing, and we quieting the lizard brain. How can I explain the never-ending irrationality of human behavior? We say we want one thing, then we do another. We say we want to be successful, but we sabotage the job interview. We say we want to be thin, but we eat too much. We say we want to be smart, but we skip class. The contradictions never end. When someone shows up and acts without contradiction, we're amazed. We can't help but watch, astonished at the purity of their actions. Why is it so difficult to do what we say we're going to do? The lizard brain. The resistance is the voice in the back of our head telling us to back off, be careful, go slow, compromise. The resistance is writer's block and putting jitters. And every project that ever shipped late because people couldn't stay on the same page long enough to get something out the door. The resistance grows in strength as we get closer to shipping, as we get closer to an insight, as we get closer to the truth of what we really want. That's because the lizard hates change and achievement and risk. The lizard is a physical part of your brain, the prehistoric lump near the brainstem that is responsible for fear and rage and reproductive drive. Why did the chicken cross the road? Because her lizard brain told her to. Want to know why so many companies can't keep up with Apple? Because they compromise, have meetings, work to fit in, fear the critics, and generally work to appease the lizard. Meetings are just one symptom of an organization run by the lizard brain. Late launches, middle-of-the-road products, and irrational quieting the lizard brain. How can I explain the never-ending irrationality of human behavior? We say we want one thing, then we do another. We say we want to be successful, but we sabotage the job interview. We say we want to be thin, but we eat too much. We say we want to be smart, but we skip class. The contradictions never end. When someone shows up and acts without contradiction, we're amazed. We can't help but watch, astonished at the purity of their actions. Why is it so difficult to do what we say we're going to do? the lizard brain. The resistance is the voice in the back of our head telling us to back off, be careful, go slow, compromise. The resistance is writer's block and putting jitters, and every project that ever shipped late because people couldn't stay on the same page long enough to get something out the door. The resistance grows in strength as we get closer to shipping, as we get closer to an insight, as we get closer to the truth of what we really want. That's because the lizard hates change and achievement and risk. The lizard is a physical part of your brain, the prehistoric lump near the brainstem that is responsible for fear and rage and reproductive drive. Why did the chicken cross the road? Because her lizard brain told her to. Want to know why so many companies can't keep up with Apple? It's because they compromise, have meetings, work to fit in, fear the critics, and generally work to appease the lizard. Meetings are just one symptom of an organization run by the lizard brain. Late launches, middle-of-the-road products, and the rationalization that goes with them are others. The amygdala isn't going away. Your lizard brain is here to stay, and your job is to figure out how to quiet it and ignore it. This is so important. I want to put it on the cover of my new book. We realize, though, that the lizard brain is freaked out by a picture of itself. And if you want to sell books to someone struggling with the resistance, then that would be all of us. Best to keep it a little more on the down low. Now you've seen the icon and you know its name. What are you going to do about it? Wherever you go, there you are.
And you can make a ruckus, and connect, and do work that matters. You have more power than you know. Seth Godin.
I wish I could hear you. No,
Can you not hear it at all?
not while I was playing.
I see. So, I mean, I'm unfortunately out of time to experiment with this too much at the moment. However, I'm curious. Obviously, a couple different ways to get a better signal than just trying to record with a mic in the room. I could put this mic right next to my amp, but then you won't be able to hear me. But I want to experiment with running my amp through a USB cable. I'm curious if I'm going to get bad latency doing it that way. I don't know. So here was primary. Can you hear this right now?
Yeah.
So the chords before I ever heard you play any of it sounded more like this to me, and this doesn't really fit in with the rhythm, but it was something along the lines of. There's a real bad reverb on my amp right now because I was experimenting around with this preset on my
Cool.
amp. Yeah, but I can clean it up quite a bit. The other way I could get a signal going in, but I've never really played with it very much, is taking my cable and going directly into my interface. Whenever you play with your Jamstick in Ableton, is that primarily how you're doing it?
No, that's normal guitar plugging in via audio, but Jamstick had a MIDI input, so you could MIDI output. I mean, so you could connect the MIDI as if it was a keyboard controller or another MIDI
Does it?
controller.
Do you feel like it sounds better when you go in on the Jamstick through MIDI or through the signal into the interface?
Um, it's two different things. When you go on MIDI, it's not the guitar sound that you're capturing. You're capturing the notes information, and you can generate the sound from the computer. So the sound depends on the kind of sounds you have on your computer, the kind of VST instruments. But with audio, it becomes kind of like a dry signal that also depends on what kind of effects you have, and if you have guitar rigs and things like that, VSTs you can use as amps and effects for your guitar. But like getting your guitar plugged in directly to the interface is the starting point, and it's the go-to approach when you're gonna record professional electric guitar takes that you're later on gonna add effects to, unless you want to record the effects from your amp and pedals, which yeah, you would have to do that or get that signal in there before getting it to the sound card.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting, right? This is a layer for me. This is one of the things I want to challenge myself on with an Ableton Experience. Multiple layers here, but I mean, um, being able to do that, right? Just being able to get my guitar plugged in. I think to your point about the amp, I do really rely on the effects in my amp for me to get my recording sounding the way I want. And the way I do that is just USB in, and I've got a clear way in Ableton or in Audition or whatever to just capture that signal. What I don't have experience with is pushing that through USB into Zoom, which we could experiment with it and see how that could sound. But even same thing with the interface, right? If I go with the interface, okay, well, hey, I don't have my amp, but there's all kinds of plugins and all kinds of effects and all kinds of badass shit that I can use just by jumping straight into Ableton and doing that with audio signal, right? Not even talking MIDI, just recording the guitar signal. So I need to push myself on that. I need to challenge myself on that a little bit. And I think I've already got Guitar Rig 5, the free version. It's not the newest, and I don't think it's complete. I think it has very few amp choices, but it's a starting point. So something I need to tinker with a little bit.
Yeah, do so.
I'm also going to be getting better sound panels for in here. A close buddy of mine, Steven, I've told you about him. He is an audio engineer, and he's redoing the studio at his house right now. And actually, if you want to go see his studio, it's pretty cool. It's kind of an interesting, quirky little space. He's got a lot of really badass monitor setup, like tons of monitors in front of him, tons of monitors behind him. I'm talking about studio speaker monitors. He's got lots of switch boxes to be able to hear different different style speakers, right?
Cool.
And he's got them behind him and in front of him. He had these Genelac speakers that were like, holy moly, man, some of the best speakers I've ever heard. He's got 4 of those, 2 in front of him and 2 behind him. But then he can switch in his box to all the different setups and all that. He has these really badass sound acoustic panels on his walls.
I'd like
and he
to
was
meet him.
he was explaining to me that this foam that I have, this is cheaper stuff, and it doesn't really absorb the sound the way that you need it to. So you do have to spend a little bit more money if you want to get audio panels that are truly made to kind of do what you want them to do. But they're not prohibitively expensive, but they're definitely more expensive. And I have a small space here. So anyway, yeah, it'd be fun to go out to his little studio and you could see his setup. He does audio for video games, is what his focus is.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be dope. Amazing to meet him.
Yeah, I think you would I think you would rather enjoy it. But anyway, I think that'll help too. I don't know if you could hear it on the mic. I don't know really how well that mic picked it up because I'm sitting right in front of the amp. So I'm doubting it sounded very good. I guess I should go back to the recording and hear what that sounded like. Another option that I've got is getting a boom mic with an SM57, running that to the interface. And that could be interesting because I could also get out a mic for here, use a different mic. This is a USB mic. But if I was running a voice mic to the interface and an SM57 on the guitar amp, that might not be a bad way in these sessions to be able to sync it, just so that I could talk and you could hear the guitar. And I could turn it down real low, but that mic should be able to pick it up.
Yeah, yeah, okay. It's things to experiment on, things
Yeah,
to try. You have to try and see what works.
yeah. I'm willing to do that. I'm sorry to, I don't mean to be in a rush out of here tonight, but I am going to have to run here shortly, my man. A pleasure as always. Really cool to watch you tinker with stuff, and
Yeah,
good
man,
to
it's fun.
list out some challenges that I have for myself. Yeah, I'm sorry I'm a bit down tonight.
Man, don't be sorry for being you. I'm also me.
Yeah. Word, man. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Dude, let me know if there's anything I can help you with, during the week. I'm a little crazy these days with work. I don't know if you've talked to Sam. It's just nuts. Work is eating both of us alive. Yeah, man, I had a big plan to already be out of there and it's not panning out. So I don't know what the future holds for me at the moment, but we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah. Good luck, man.
Thank you.
Mm.
Thank you. This, that, and a million other topics. Be in touch. I think a few months back we had said, oh yeah, I'm going to microcast. Oh yeah, I'm going to microcast. And I never really did. I apologize for that. Like you said, no apologies needed. It's all an experiment. You just pay attention to, oh, okay, that's interesting. We didn't get that done. But I think about you all the time, man. And I'll be thinking about you this week. I'll be thinking about music. And I'm certainly here if you think of anything. Otherwise, I'll see you next week on Monday night, my man.
Same, man. I also have some updates. My website is almost ready.
Oh, nice.
I did that Eventbrite. I also scheduled our lives on YouTube starting June, so like people can start to set reminders for it and like anticipate it. And hopefully, when I'll be in my studio, I'll be in a better everything space to to be focused on everything other than just what the hell is going on, because I feel like in this space there's a lot of chaos. It's just that feeling, like just being in that place feels a lot. Like as soon as I leave my house, I relax. Like it chills me out so much just to walk around nature,
Mm-hmm.
go to the pool or go to Sam's or something. Just so much. I don't know why this house is just too much tension now. I just need to go, and I'm really looking forward to that, to like really be like the next chapter of my life. I feel like that will be like the jump start, but who knows? I don't want to jinx it at the same time. I want to be present right now and like do what I
Yeah,
can do right now
you're good.
and
You're
going
good, but
now.
I follow exactly what you mean. I'll be looking forward to that for you, man. That's good stuff. That's
All
good
right,
stuff.
onward.
Onward.